as we mentioned quickly, there was some buzz possibly about you getting the Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
But
you know how it goes. Like, it was all, I didn't believe it. I never had any idea. You hear talk about it, Silver Star, Medal of Honor, Navy Cross, whatever, right? I didn't care. I promised the last thing that I ever thought about was an award. An award. That's the last thing.
Well, it gets approved. And going back to the book, when the president hung that medal around my neck, I felt glum. I couldn't smile, and I said nothing. I gave no remarks and avoided the press. As a Marine, you either bring your team home alive or you die trying. My country was recognizing me for being a failure and for the worst day of my life. The Marine Commandant, General Jim Amos, and General Joseph Dunford attended the ceremony. Throughout the years after Ganjgal, the Marine Corps leadership has provided consistent support, not just to me, but to all who fought there. The top enlisted man in the Marine Corps, Sergeant Major Mike Barrett, twice came to our farm to meet my dad and granddad and to encourage me. There's no such thing as a former Marine. 50 years after they have left active duty, Marines still sign emails to each other with SF, Semper Fidelis, always faithful. Of course, we have among us those who fail themselves, their family, and society. The fact remains, though, that the Corps expects every Marine to live by a set of core values. In turn, the Corps keeps its side of the bargain. You cannot ask anything more of an organization than that. The Medal of Honor, given in the name of the Congress of the United States of America, symbolizes the courage and determination of our entire country. And speaking of the country you were in, New York. I was in New York City at the Twin Towers site, Ground Zero, with Gunny Joshua Peterson, someone I knew from my first days in the Corps. We were greeted by hundreds of police, firemen, construction workers, Wall Street guys in suits, city officials, and the families of the fallen. Meyer, I can't believe this scene, Gunny Peterson said. Make sure your ribbons are squared away. We stood side by side. Two grunts in sharply ironed khakis, waving like we had won an election. I thought of my sad, fumbling meetings with the family of Team Monty, the families of Team Monty, when I couldn't think of much to say. I was alive and their loved ones were not. Now here I was, standing before a monument for 3,000 dead. I saw some big iron workers in hard hats standing off to one side. When the ceremony ended, they sneaked me in onto a work elevator. Up we went to the top of the ride, where we then climbed wooden ladders until we couldn't go any further. And there weren't any guardrails. I stood there, looking out at the most beautiful country in the world, trying to make sense of my feelings. This was where it had all started. So many good people lost, the people who had been working here and the people I had known who had not gone blindly into uniform. They had reasoned why Americans do that. But they had gone ahead to do and to die. An iron worker handed me a silver marker. And I wrote on a girder, for those who gave all. For those who gave all. And that wraps up the book, and